tried something. Like the last thing I want to do is hire someone who hasn't tried. Like they can look like the smartest person possible on a piece of paper, but as as I told you, we let go of 4 people that looked as smart as possible on paper. Yeah, so like try and fail. Like you have to set yourself up to fail, which is, it seems kind of reverse, but if you don't set yourself up to fail, like you're never gonna know for anything. I mean, I worked at South Point Cinemas. That was sweet. Like whatever though, I needed money when I was in high school, so I worked at a crappy movie theater. When I worked at the movie theater, you know what my job was? Outside of like ripping tickets, which was not embarrassing at all, was I'd have to stay there until 3 o'clock, and they'd give me a broom, and they're like, okay, what we need you to do is we need you to go into the theaters that are all empty and make sure no one's hiding under the curtains to rob the place later. And I was like,
are you serious?
So I have this broom, and I'm just like, I was like, is anyone in here waiting to rob the theater?
You go broom
Luckily, no one said
like,
yes. So
you just sweep them away. Okay.
I survived that job, which was kind of cool. And then have a bunch of crappy jobs like before you figure out what you want to do, because that'll motivate you to do stuff. Like, I was slinging slacks at Eddie Bauer like in high school too, which was also fun. But yeah, you learn a lot. Like when I worked at Eddie Bauer, like I learned how to talk with people. Started learning ways to persuade people to buy our expensive khakis. I'm like, your butt looks better in those, ma'am. I'm like, you should go for the expensive ones, without being, harassing people. But you learn like ways to persuade people. Like you learn ways to sell people, to interact with people, and like through all these small jobs I have, like the 2 things is I learned all these like kind of soft people skills, which are extremely important. And then I learned what I didn't want to do. Even when I had my co-ops at the better jobs like Sony Ericsson and Red Hat, those were 2 pretty decent jobs, but it helps you learn like what you don't want to do, which is huge. Like don't go. I mean, I was in college. I ended up. So I haven't finished college because we raised funding before I graduated. But it took me 3.5 years to realize that I didn't want to do computer and electrical engineering full time before I added on my business degree. So, do what you want to do. Like figure out what you like. If you don't do a specific type of homework, like maybe that area isn't meant for you. Like get it out of the way. Like get a C in it. Big deal if you get it. Like that was my big thing is like. Grades are really important, but like if you focus on all your weaknesses, you'll just have a bunch of strong weaknesses. Like figure out like what it is you like to do, and then try to focus your efforts there. Like I started off in college, I had like a 3.95 for the first 2 years GPA, and then like realized that I really liked something, and then once I figured out what I really liked, my GPA dropped down to like a 3.0 because I stopped focusing as much on the other classes. Like I would get C's, but I was fine getting C's knowing that I could focus my efforts on something like this. It was kind of more interesting to me, And so I think people are cool with that. Like, if you're going to get a C, make sure the reason you're getting a C or a D is because you're focusing on something else like really, really hard. And like our parents were cool with that, I think. Are you